All right, we're back. The song just end like that. We were about to get to our guests who did an investigation last night at McPike Mansion, which is a very old mansion out in Alton, Illinois. Very notorious, goes back to 1869, very notorious in the world of paranormal investigation in that region. So why don't we go ahead and bring these guys on. Dustin Gable and Jason May from Clinton County Paranormal Research Group. Are you guys here?
Yes, we are. Yep.
All right, how's it going, guys?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
All right, thanks for coming on last minute. I appreciate it. You guys are out in Clinton County. For those that don't know, that's, what do you call, Southern Illinois, yeah?
Yep, Southern Illinois.
And you guys just did an investigation at a pretty notorious location last night, huh?
Yes, we did.
And how'd it go?
Awesome. Very active last night, mainly because of the full moon and how close it was. We had a lot more activity than usual.
I don't know if people can hear the caller. I think it needs to be turned up. So you guys had a ton of activity, yeah?
Yes, we did.
And you sent me over a bunch of EVPs, and for our listening audience that doesn't know what that is, you want to give them a quick explanation?
The EVP, electronic voice phenomena, is when you get spirit speaking to you that you don't physically hear, but it shows up on a recording device like a digital recorder, a cassette tape, or sometimes even video will pick up the audio of something talking that's not physically there.
Sure. Do you have any opinion as to whether these are typically intelligent or some kind of replay of some kind, or do you have an opinion on that?
Well, sometimes some locations will have what's called residual, which is one event that constantly keeps playing over and over, like a tape. And then you also have the intelligent EVPs that interact with you, answer questions, like in the Pike Mansion. There's a lot of intelligent responses to questions that we ask, and they're totally aware of what's going on around them.
Hey, we stop 1 second? If one of you guys has a radio on, can you turn that down, please?
Right.
Or whatever, speakers. It's not a radio.
Right.
So you're saying you've got both of them. You've got stuff that interacts with you, and you've got things that could just be a residual, kind of left by some kind of extreme emotion or something.
Yes.
So a little bit of background on you guys. How long have you had the Clinton County Paranormal Research Group?
We've been around since '98, but didn't really go public until 2 years ago when we did the first big investigation, which was in Pike on Halloween in 2013. And since then, cases have been picking up. We've been getting contacted and getting a lot more busy with going to hit locations and collecting evidence. So it's really picking up once we get the name out.
So are you doing a lot of personal cases, people that are having trouble with some kind of activity in their home or something?
We've done 4 since last year, private residences that have things going on that shouldn't be.
Sure.
So yes, we do those too.
It's no doubt interesting work. Let's get to the investigation last night. The history of this place is, I guess, for people around there, this is one of your classic haunted places that just has tons of ghost stories. So you guys have a pretty impressive amount of EVPs here. Do you want to kind of introduce anything, or what's some of your favorite ones that we can play here?
I'd say the favorite one was the one from the very first investigation we did, where we had a 100% skeptic that came with us, which was Moose from 97.5, a local radio station. And he flat out told me before the investigation that he is a skeptic and he does not believe in this at all. So during the seance that we did, the first one that was contacted was him, and he heard a woman speaking to him, and he actually did stop the seance and comment on it soon after that on the video clip that we have, you see an orb come out of the wall at the same exact time an EVP was caught on both video and digital recorders. And pretty much what it said was a female voice giggled and said, "Yes, it's me."
So this is the It's Me EVP. I'm going to play this for our listeners real quick.
Yeah, that's the one.
Can we bring the laptop up there?
Here to here.
Yeah, let me play that again. I think we might have missed it. Oh, there it was right there. So it's right after the guy says, "Is somebody whispering?" It's me. You hear a faint voice. Let me play it one more time. Yeah. And so that wasn't any part of your team, obviously. You guys ruled all that stuff out.
No, because as soon as he said that he heard a woman speaking to him, the whole room went totally silent, and we just kind of sat and listened a little bit. And to catch that visual thing also on the infrared camera coming out of the wall at the same exact time that was being said, that kind of had validity to it.
So we had the guy ask the question, is somebody whispering? And at the same time that we get the answer, you had a video of an orb coming out of the wall.
At the exact same time.
Okay. That one's pretty cool. And so you told me earlier that actually connected to another EVP, suggesting possible like memory or intelligence.
Yes, it does. The second visit, he wanted to go back and sit in the exact same spot and just kind of rethink what happened to him, because as of that event, he flat out told me that he is no longer a skeptic since he experienced that, and he wanted to sit down and go back over what happened and think about it. And he was talking about his experience with the owner of the McPike Mansion, and soon after that, we got the same exact female voice that verified by saying, "Yes, you did." And it answered him when he was talking about that. So that, that alone shows intelligence that they can remember things that happened.
You're referencing in this clip. He's referencing the previous time. And let's see. Let's play this for our listeners. Ah, that is creepy. Here, I'm gonna play that again one time. So he's talking about the last time you were there, yeah? And she says, "Yes, you did," like remembering what he had been doing.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yes, you did. That one's clear too.
And that shows that there's gonna be intelligence to it, because that was a few months after the initial event happened to him. And, for the spirit to remember that far back and, have some kind of conscience where they can actually remember those events, that's kind of neat.
That is pretty cool. I mean, who knows what exactly it means, but it is pretty thrilling to get that kind of a sort of connection there, yeah.
And see, at the time that was caught, none of us, after he said that, none of us heard anything said. But when I got back home and pulled the audio off the recorders and I cut the noise level out, dropped it down, and started playing it, that was caught. But none of us physically heard that being said at the time.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you do you clean these all up and do production work on them yourself then?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, if anybody's interested in doing this on their own, what do you recommend to help capture the EVP? How do you reduce the noise?
How do you do what?
How do you reduce the noise on these clips to try to hear the EVP better?
We use a program called Audacity, which is totally free to download and use. Once you load the audio file into Audacity, the first thing you do is normalize it, which that cuts out a lot of the bass level noise, and that allows you to pull the EVPs out so you can listen to them a lot easier. And then, the clip and the paste, that's a little bit tricky to get figured out.
Sure.
But once you get it figured out, you know what to do. But it helps clean it up and try to remove some of that baseline noise, so it's easier to pull the actual voices out.
Okay. There's a note for our aspiring paranormal researchers or investigators out there. So what other of these EPs or any of these EVPs are they from last night?
I haven't gotten all the audio done from last night yet.
Okay.
We got back about 2 o'clock in the morning from last night's investigation.
So all these ones that we're hearing are from previous investigations, but they're from
Previous, but it's the
all
same
from
location.
Yeah. Okay. So
Same location.
if you're just joining us, it's Dustin Gable and Jason May from Clinton County Paranormal Research talking about their investigation of McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois. So what else from McPike? What do you recommend from the EVPs here?
Any of them you want to play? I mean,
Well, let's
you've got
see.
some of the best evidence that we've gotten. So
We've got one here called "I Hear Music."
okay, and I'll tell you about that because we had a local radio station that did a Halloween show, and we broadcasted live from McPike. And while the music was playing between the sets when they had us on the live radio talking about what we do, answering questions, on the audio recorders, we have the spirit of a boy that's on the location, and I have the EVP of him that says, "I hear music." And that was caught, pulled off, cleaned up. And if he wants to play that, it's kind of neat.
Let's check that out. We'll play it a couple times. Here, turn this up for the listeners. Yeah. Right at the end there. And that's "I Hear Music," yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's with headphones on, with audio clip cleaned up. I was able to pull that out really clean, and there's no mistaking what it says.
Okay, so let's try another one. How about "Where's My Mommy"? That sounds creepy.
That was actually caught in two different locations at the exact same time, because behind the property there's two vaults where two kids used to be buried at behind the house. That was caught at that gravesite and also inside the house at the exact same time on two different recorders.
Oh, wow.
And it is a female child that's saying, where's my mommy?
Let's try this. Hang on.
And that was caught two different times.
All right, so that one's pretty deep in the background. Do you know exactly where the EVP is in that one?
That specific one?
Let's see. I think I hear it right there. "Where's My Mommy?" And you say that, so you got that on two separate recordings. Do we have both of those or just one? Yeah, it looks like
I just sent the one file, but it's the exact same thing that was caught in two places at the same time, which, that kind of prompted me to look up that one spirit can actually be in two locations at the same time. And there's a lot of case studies done that do show that they can be in two different spots at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if it's not a normal audio, it's not a normal sound wave going through the air. There's something else going on here. It could pass through walls or whatever, and just occupy a certain amount of space, I guess, huh? So let's see, what else do we have? We've got a "You Need Help." That sounds interesting. This is from November 30th of 2013. So
that one, when you get into the wine cellar, they have the plastic lawn chairs that everybody sits in. We had them all stacked up in the corner, and on that visit, I had my daughter with me, and we were all in the wine cellar, unstacking all the chairs, setting them up so we could sit down. And something spoke directly to my daughter, which called her name, and then said, "You need help." Like she wanted to know if my kid needed help setting stuff up.
All right, let's.
And that was kind of odd.
Let's play this one. Hang on. Is that the voice right at the end there?
It's right at the end.
Yeah.
And if you really stop and think about the way that female voice sounds, it doesn't even sound like anything that we would normally hear. It's got like an odd ambience to it.
So there's a woman talking almost through the whole thing. Is that whole thing the EVP?
It's the whole thing. There's whispering all through it. Some of that is us.
Okay.
But the "you need help" is the main EVP. And when you pull that into Audacity, the wavelength shows that that's really thin. So it's not like.
So it's a different voice, yeah.
It's no voice that was physically heard at the time.
So let's see, right there at the end, you need help.
And it doesn't, it doesn't even sound like somebody normally talking like they would.
Right, yeah.
Like, if I said, "you need help," it sounded kind of broken, like "you need," and the help sounded like it was kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Like, like radio station signal was kind of fading in and out.
Yeah, it's hard to almost, to discern some of them just playing them, on the MP3 like this. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely hear a strange voice at the end of there that is either, it almost sounds like it's in reverse or something, or,
Yeah, it had an odd, like, tone to it. The normal human voice of someone speaking that's alive wouldn't be anything like that.
Right.
It had an odd, I don't know, it's tough to describe. You just have to listen to it. And
so let's say
think about it.
We've also got, what's this one? Name called It's the House.
That was, we were actually sitting down after the chairs all got set up. And, just kind of sitting around in the wine cellar talking about, just the activity in the house alone. And, just kind of trying to figure out why so much activity happens. And the female comes in, my name is called, and then you hear a low whisper that says, "It's the house." So and that is that same female that also said the giggle and "it's me," and then responded to the other guy talking about what happened to him by saying, "Yes, you did." That is the same exact female voice.
Okay, so let's hear this one. This is we're gonna hear Dustin. It's the house, right?
That's what is on here.
Oh yeah, I heard it's the house for sure. Hang on.
If you got into Audacity and cleaned it up a little, just did the normalize one time to pull one level of noise out, it'd be really loud, and you'd really be able to pull it out.
Yeah,
but it's definitely there.
That one is pretty creepy. It's those like close whispering ones that really get me. Those like, sounds like somebody just leans over it and whispers.
That constant whisper constantly goes on down there when you're recording. It's actually pretty cool.
So that's Jay piping up finally, or Jason, sorry. Jason saying...
I just let him talk. He just takes over. So.
Constant whispering at the...
He wasn't on that one, so...
Oh, okay, that's why. But you're saying you hear a lot of weird kind of shit like that at McPike's?
Oh, yeah. Last night we did some recording. That's constant. It was non-stop. And, I can't wait to break some of them down with them. Some of them ghosts, spirits, whatever, they were pretty active. If there was a question asked, called out, they pretty well acknowledged it pretty well, which is actually one of the better ones I've heard down there yet. So. Yeah,
you can definitely hear it. And if anybody's at home, we'll try to get all these posted up on our page somewhere for you. But it's the house. That's definitely a creepy whisper. You guys, by the way, can call in if you have any questions for our guests. 708-244-8142. Speak to them directly. A new feature at the Sunday Evening Overdose. Did we do? We didn't do Can You Play Nice, did we? I don't think so.
No, we didn't do that one.
So
yet.
You know what? Let me just play this one and see if we can pick it out without your help. Hang on.
Yep. Oh, you will.
Oh, is that deep voice, huh? Here, Max, turn this up a little, could you? So there's a really deep kind of disembodied voice right at the beginning of the clip. I assume that's the EVP you're talking about.
That the child is towards the end of it. Actually.
Oh, really?
There was two EVPs.
Oh, somebody just
on that
somebody
same
with a
audio clip.
Oh, so there's two. Okay. Let's see. So let's play the whole thing. Okay, so tell us what we're looking at there. Dustin, you there?
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the Can You Play Nice MP3. So what are we hearing right at the beginning? There's a very deep and disembodied voice. Is that the Can You Play Nice?
That is believed to be Henry McPike, which used to live in the house, and we actually listened to him talk to us pretty much all night last night, and we spot checked a lot of the audio from last night's investigation, and he was on it a lot, and we also got that boy a few different times last night, and we spot checked and played some of that back last night for the owner. One really loud one that we caught was that same little boy, and exactly what he said to me last night was, "Will you play with me?" And that was played for the owner, for the shaman that was also with us, and they all listened to it in real time, and that was just caught last night. So it's still extremely active, and everything is still there.
Very cool. You're going to have to send us some of that stuff when you get it cleaned up.
Oh, definitely.
And let's see what else we got. Let's play a couple more of these, and then we'll move on. How about In a Tree?
That was Moose once again from 97.5. That was the same day that he came with us to sit down and rethink what happened to him when he got that response of "yes, you did." Was later on that afternoon he had to go back to the station, and he was talking about well, we can't be hanging around here all day. We got to get going pretty soon. The minute that he said the word "hanging," that same boy's voice came in and said "in a tree." Now, for the time period, that's common in, the mid to late 1800s for people to be hung like that.
Sure.
But for that boy to have an EVP said of "in a tree," tying in to him just saying "hanging," that again shows intelligence. They do know what we do and talk about there.
And a lot of paranormal investigators talk about that kind of like, trigger words or whatever, that might trigger some kind of response from beyond.
Yep,
here. Let's play this one.
You got the same thing with like trigger objects. Like if you have like a set of marbles that's original and period to like say 1850, 1860, that can get some activity going too, because it's something that spirit's going to be familiar with, and they'll know what to do with it, and that'll kind of get them moving and talking a little. So there's keywords and things that can be said. It's like a switch to kind of flip it on and get them moving.
All right, let's check this one out. Hang on.
Yes, we're just hanging. We're not gonna be here. But...
Wow, that was very clear, and I mean that's one of those ones that's so clear that it's hard to believe that there was no one there that said it. It's like I mean, obviously, I'm not accusing you of that, but it's just, you know what I mean. It's like it's hard to believe that's just, some anomaly when it's that clear. It's strange. Hang on, let me play that one more time.
Just hang in. We're not gonna be here. Bug you all night.
Yeah, just hanging in a tree.
That's just crazy.
Wow.
And, the way McPike Mansion is set up, when you're actually in the wine cellar, you're like, 15 to 18 feet underground, and with those doors closed, no outside noise gets in at all. It is that quiet down there. It's just silent. All the outside noise is blocked, so you're not going to have all that, distortion and outside contamination coming in. It's really quiet down there. So when you catch an EVP inside the wine cellar, it's going to be loud because the ambience is just perfect. The acoustics in that cellar is just, it's the best conditions that you can get EVPs in because everything is so quiet.
I mean, yeah, it sounds. That's some of the. It sounds just as good as anything high profile or high budget I've heard. What about let's do one last one. Let's see. How about Hey Dustin? So I assume
That's we were just getting ready to walk out of the cellar to leave for the day, and I had left something sitting on the table inside the wine cellar, and I had just thought about it, and I had to go back in and get it. As soon as I walked into the cellar, I'm by myself, and it's that same female voice that said, "Hey, Dustin," like right when I walked in, like they were going to remind me that I forgot something.
okay.
And I physically heard that one being said to me right at that time.
All right, let's check this
So
out.
sometimes you do physically catch what's being said. Once in a while, you can hear that with your own ears.
All right, we're playing it. Yeah, right there, towards the end. Hey, Dustin. Yeah.
And, that again shows intelligence that, they know what we do. They're totally aware of us being in the house, what we do, what we talk about, and they interact with us. And it's, the more you go, the more activity happens because they eventually get, so used to you being there that, they easily talk. That's our theory on it.
Yeah. And I've always had I think like a lot of people, I've always had an easier time reconciling logically with the residual, events and things like that you can maybe attribute to something we don't understand about the imprint we leave behind on a electromagnetic field or something. But the intelligent spirits is something that I kind of, don't really look into all that much and kind of, it's some part of me sort of wrote it off at some point. What can you tell me about why maybe I should give that a chance again? Do you guys have a lot of experience with intelligent spirits, as you might call them?
That's what they call them. And like I said, this was actually discussed last night after the event and investigation was done. That, we were kind of discussing the whole, residual versus intelligent haunting and, why do the intelligent haunts exist? Because, just because somebody has died, they don't want to leave a certain place that they like it there so much, they choose to stay. And that's the exact case with McPike Mansion. They don't want to leave. They obviously like being there, and they interact with all the people that come to do this and collect the evidence and listen to the EVPs and try to catch things on pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a huge, and there's a lot of people that believe in it, and there's a huge industry that runs on it too. What other kinds of things? We've heard all the EVPs. Have you guys gotten any decent photographs from McPike Mansion? We have gotten quite a few photos, and the one of them was actually posted on the radio show's Facebook page a while ago. Okay.
Of a blue, like, mist type thing. That photo was actually caught by somebody else from what I found out just an hour ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. Someone else that I've never met, never talked to, had captured that exact same thing in the same spot. I didn't know about that until a while ago. So, for like 6 years apart, for two different people to catch that exact same thing, that's more credibility to, that not being smoke, breath, fog, which we did try to actually debunk that photo.
Yeah, it's a very creepy photo. You and who took this photo that you posted here? Was this you?
That was Roxanne, also from 97.5.
Okay. Sorry.
And the event that happened when that was taken, she was talking to me at the side of the kitchen, towards like the back of the house, getting ready to go in. It's the first investigation she's ever actually been on, so she was a little bit spooked. And she said that she felt ice cold pass through her all the way, and she said it stopped directly behind her. So what I had told her to do is turn around and take about 4 or 5 pictures. She ended up taking 4 pictures on an iPhone, and the only one that had anything unusual in it was just that one. And it was, one picture after the other. But that only showed up in one.
Yeah, no, and this is definitely a pretty cool looking picture. For people that are playing along, if you want to go to the Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook page, Dustin has posted this picture to the page, and it looks like, I don't know, like a smoky specter, and it kind of has that effect if something ran around at 1,000,000 miles an hour, or something, but I don't know, it's sort of just like floating, smoky, kind of stretching.
Comes out the window, right? Yeah, we zoomed down it. There's actually zoomed in. There's a couple spots.
Are you talking? We're having trouble hearing you. Are you talking directly into the phone? Sorry.
Kind of sounds like
I'm
you're cutting
calling
out.
in. A bad connection or something.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just kind of yell at us, and we'll make do.
Oh, okay. I was just saying that that picture we zoomed in. There's a few spots in it as you get deeper into it. It looks like an outline of a woman coming out looking at you. I think that's pretty.
Oh wow, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And this was just a random photo snap, right? Just turned around and took it.
Yeah, she turned around and took a few, and it only showed up in one picture.
Yeah, I definitely see this almost like ghoulish, sort of long-haired outline towards the bottom. Yeah, for sure. And like an arm coming down. Although, who knows? You see that stuff in the clouds too, but it is cool. But
I think one of the most odd things that I've never really given much thought was EVPs of animals. I never really gave that a lot of thought.
I don't think anyone really has.
It doesn't seem normal to really catch an animal on EVP, but that was actually brought up and mentioned also with the Halloween investigation.
And what kind of things are we talking about? Dogs barking or?
Dog and cat.
Okay.
Because the shaman that was with us at the Halloween investigation, she is a full-blood Indian shaman, and she's, really into that, and she definitely knows her shit. But she had brought up, and, being Native American, they do believe a lot in, animal spirits. That's, their whole thing is the whole, animal spirits, chakras, totems. They, have a knowledge of that. So she had mentioned, once in a while we do get a occasional EVP of a dog and a cat. And it was kind of odd because on the audio, nobody heard this at the time, but when I got back home and listened to that exact clip, I have a Shih Tzu type dog barking, and directly after that, a cat meows. Now, this is in the wine cellar, which outside noise is totally blocked. Okay, nothing gets in, and that was on the recorders. I ended up playing that clip of the dog and the cat for the owner. She was upset over that for a few months, but she would never tell me why. It turns out that both that dog and that cat are 2 animals that she used to own that did die on the property.
Wow.
And just a few months ago, she wanted me to get some pictures together taken to make some videos, highlighting the EVPs with, showing the location that was actually caught in. And one of the pictures, I have the apparition of a Shih Tzu dog in the wine cellar sitting underneath the chair that the owner always sits in at the seances.
You know what? I
didn't catch it right away, but I'm just like, that's crazy.
We've got somebody calling in that wants to talk to you. Hey, who's this?
Me.
Did you want to talk to our guests from Clinton County Paranormal Research?
Sure. Why do you guys record all that stuff and then go sit at home and
You know what?
Isn't there somewhere you can hook up
wait, hang on. We got something weird happening. We've got somebody calling in.
What's happening?
the show is like replaying itself on delay. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that happened a few 30
Yeah.
seconds ago.
All right. What was your question?
The question was, instead of going and taking hours of recordings, and then going and looking through it all. Isn't there any way you can like hook up some headphones and like get a live feed of that? You know what I mean? Maybe then you could talk to them or stuff. I don't know.
You're talking about a way to do the processing live time, so you can try to hear them better and interact.
Frequency range,
Yeah,
right?
and
That's a good question.
That is entirely possible because the recorders that we use, they actually have what they call a live listen function. So we can be recording and have headphones plugged in listening at the same time. That way, if you do catch an EVP, you physically hear it exactly as it is said, and then you can answer and talk to them right at that moment instead of, waiting to get home.
That's basically what I was asking. Do you do that? Or
some digital recorders can do that, and others cannot.
So, like, when he was like, "Yo, Dustin," you could have turned around and been like, "What?"
Yeah.
See, at the time, I didn't have a recorder that could do that, but now we do have recorders that you can actually talk to them right as the EVP comes in, and you catch it.
Oh,
so
I had a really good idea, but I guess not. I guess somebody saw that first.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't rush to the patent office, I guess.
I know. I'm just thinking that's how it should be done, so you can, like...
And, that is the way we do it now once we've, found out which recorders actually have that function.
My belief is, I don't know, every time I hear these EVPs, they just sound kind of not like what the person who took them thinks they say.
I'm conflicted on some of them, but certain ones of them sound really clear and pretty creepy.
Like the whispering ones and like
but
like the really fast ones where it's like he just said that the grandmother's at the dock. Like, no, he didn't say that. That's not what that said at all. And like that happens on TV shows, like when you're watching the ghost shows.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What the fuck? It doesn't sound like that at all. And then like the guys.
I think we heard some.
Actually, the ones you played are probably the best ones I've ever heard.
Yeah, I didn't think they were very bad at all. A couple of them were very clear. Yeah.
And like on the program Audacity, on the upper right, once you get the file loaded to normalize it, clean it up, and listen to it, and check for EVPs, you can actually slow that down to, if it's like a fast EVP, it's like, hey, so hi. Because we get a lot of those, just one syllable, hey, hi, hello, but there's a little slide at the top right corner that you can actually slow the audio down and listen to it a little bit slower to really pull out what's being said. And that does help because some EVPs are like really fast, 1 second, 2 second, it's done. But then other ones are long, full sentences, statements.
Yeah. I'm looking at this place online. It looks pretty creepy. They just let people go in there and you had to break in.
No, we're actually allowed. They have open tours that you can sign up for, go in, and, investigate the place on your own. It's,
Well,
if you go to McPikeMansion.com, they've got all the info listed, the history. They've got the event calendar listed, so when events are all going on. It's a good time, and it's neat. You pick some wild stuff up.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, that's all about all I wanted, and talk about like the ghost animals more. That's cool.
All right. All right, boogie bye. Thank you. So yeah, some innovations there from our callers. Sure, you never thought of that before.
No,
So you were getting on to the ghost animal EVPs. Anything else on that?
Well, we got the dog and the cat, and then that one photo that showed up. It turns out that was actually the apparition of a Shih Tzu dog. It was captured in the wine cellar underneath the chair, and I'll get that posted as soon as I can locate that picture.
Yeah, keep us updated, and we'll keep posting your stuff on our pages and everything.
Definitely.
And any other major highlights from the McPike Mansion investigation, or anything exciting last night?
Last night it's just, the spot checks we did on the audio. That phone always does that.
Oh, you know what? I think we might have lost Jason.
Yeah, his phone just died.
Oh,
but yeah, last night we didn't get to all the audio yet. I still have a lot to pull off of the actual recorders. But last night, during the investigation, we would, if I would hear things that really stood out, I would stop the recorder, spot check, and play it right at that time. And we did catch a lot of EVPs of the male with the deep voice talking, and the one boy was actually caught a couple times last night talking to us, asking us if we wanted to play, please, and
yeah, we'll have
giggling,
we'll have to keep up with that stuff. I mean, because this is like our caller said. I mean, these are some of the better EVPs I've ever heard. It's something that's pretty cool to hear some affirmation of, regardless if it's residual or intelligent. It's pretty cool shit. Before you go, do you have any insight into? I know you mentioned. I forget his name, the original McPike, but do you have any insight through your investigation into who might be hanging around or why?
Well, there's actually quite a few that do hang around. You've got Henry, you've got the two kids, which we do not have names, so either one of those kids. Then you've got two females, and I think one's the slaves, and then the guy that designed the house, Paul Lashinger. Once in a while, he is at the location, but not always. There was like 11 different spirits in the house constantly, and it's a very active location.
And these are like apparitions that have been seen, or mostly EVPs, or what's...
Most of it's audio, but we've had some pretty odd things show up in pictures, and a lot on video. They do show themselves from time to time in some pretty odd ways. It's just not normal.
Yeah, very, very interesting shit from Clinton County Paranormal Research. Dustin Gable, we're gonna have to move on, but do you have any exciting investigations coming up?
Well, right now we're going through the audio from last night's, and we caught a lot. We've got a lot of hours of audio yet to go through. That can take up to a week, 2 weeks.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because we look at every little thing on audio. I don't like to miss anything.
And depending on how much you drink too, I mean, it could take months. For me, it might be a lot longer. But thanks for coming on the show last minute again, and hopefully we'll keep in touch with you. And we had another paranormal team on, and I'm gonna offer to you too. Anytime you guys are cool with it, we'd love to broadcast an investigation live. Come down and visit. So if you ever have anything that would be cool for us to tag along, let us know.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Take it easy.
See you later. Okay, there goes Dustin Gable, and Jason May's phone died, I guess, before that. The Clinton County Paranormal Research Group, I guess, or maybe they're just called Clinton County Paranormal Research. They got a Facebook page. They got the YouTube. They got some other shit going on. I will post all their links on the Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook page. We're going to play a little bit of music and come back with some more news and bullshit and probably some asshole callers who are going to start bugging me. All right.